Hi, Leather Rock here. Welcome to my channel. And this is Tabby Boy, you know that. How are you guys doing today? I'm going to plug back in since I'm actually close enough. Hey, Mark. I'm actually doing one of these streams. I want to make sure that I'm keeping my schedule, but I don't have a whole lot of things specifically planned for today. I did go earlier to my garden and I grabbed some things. I grabbed some kale, and I was really concerned about being yelled at by some busybody neighbor that lives up on the fire escape, who I believe his apartment used to be that of some guy that used to give me cat food, but there's different people there. And I really was on a kale mission there. And way I figure I shouldn't feel guilty in any way, because when I think of all the plants that I had there that just took wings and flew, I see you, Tabby Boy, and all those onions that I had in my cat Cassie's original owner, Cassie, or rather her original owner was Teresa. I planted a bunch of onions in her original plot, and somebody pulled them up before putting whatever. We've had enough frosts that even the squash plants are all died off. Some of the farmers have taken most of the plants themselves out, and except for those that are the kind of plants that can survive the hardy weather, like sage, for instance, that is very the it's just very strong plant, and it can tolerate uh, not a lot of water sometimes, and it can tolerate frost. And the same thing with rosemary. Tabby Boy, I see you. You know what? If I don't let Tabby Boy out, he's gonna rebel, and his way of rebelling is finding alternates to the litter box. So I think I better let him. All right, Tabby Boy, you want to go? There, there you go. There, go. So, you want to see what I picked today? Come on. And plus, then we'll get to see Cassie if she's in there. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, good. See, I'm not ambushing anybody, so I can't get yelled at, because ambushing people is frowned upon in this establishment. So, okay, good. Stove burner's cool. Turn this light on and check this out. I've got some new things that I never got to show you before. These are my kales. These pieces are much smaller, very beautiful. One of the best, healthiest vegetables that you can eat. It's just, I don't understand people not liking it. And it's kind of like, it's so healthy. It's like a leafy version of a multivitamin. They're just amazing. What you've never seen before, because maybe it's a more recent plant, is this is a more traditional kind of parsley that people are used to seeing in garnishes next to their hamburgers or whatever. This is as opposed to what we have been thinking of as being a form of parsley, but that smells so much like celery, especially this part of it. Now, the leaves of these are tougher than celery leaves usually are, but I got a bunch of this. Figure what it will, you don't eat fresh. I'm going to dry, or else I can freeze it. I picked some more rosemary. And these are what I could scrounge of the scallion-like onions. Normally I would have rinsed off the dirt, but I don't want a lot of things here in a pile. How long have I been into gardening? Well, I knew about plants even when I was in grade school. When I was in seventh and eighth grade, I was friendly with some teachers in some of the younger kids' classes, and I would bring house plants for show and tell for the second grade classes and for the developmentally disabled classes. Uh, if I had not been bitten by the entertainment bug, who knows, I may have gotten into horticulture. When I was a freshman in high school, I snuck off away from the rest of the kids. We had a class trip to Washington, D.C. And when everybody else was looking at national monuments and things, I had a street map and I found a national arboretum. And that's what I was looking at. I had a teacher, my high school algebra teacher. I can't say that he was good at teaching me algebra, but we had the organic gardening in common. And Yeah, that was my first time in Washington D.C. But I like to use my skills to grow fruits and vegetables and wait for pretty guys like this to get nice and ripe. And this one, I don't know if they'll ever get red because they do have tomatoes in different colors, things. Um, Most of these, I think I'm going to freeze. Yes and no. I'm a little bit concerned about another one of my plants that I'm going to. I don't know if I should do just a separate video about my concerns about it right now, or whether I should work on one of those edited videos showing the different stages of something, which I think is actually what I'm going to do, so that maybe it can be a little bit of an instructional video. I think that a lot of people really like to watch videos where they can learn something, or they can, if they're not going to learn something, at least learn what not to do. I think I have more success with some plants than I do with others. And you can grow something, and so many of the things that I've tried to grow in the past, I never got a chance to harvest it, sometimes due to the plants being stolen. One time when I was in California, I was given a bunch of plants as a housewarming gift. And by plants, I do not mean tomato plants. But when the plant was only about yo high, the police came on an unrelated matter, and they found all the plants and they confiscated them. So I never got to do a harvest until this year. And I of course, the product is only as good as the seed that grew it. And I'm not sure the origin of the seed, but that's something in next couple of weeks you can look forward to a video about that. So, but before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to have to process these. Oh, I'm going to show you the cutest little peppers. Now, these were not my plants, but there are so many of them, and with all the frost and things, you're probably not going to be good that much longer. And you would think would be really, really, really hot peppers, but they actually weren't. But I'm a little bit ticked off at my mother. Earlier, a couple hours ago, when I was experimenting with one of these peppers, I took all the seeds out and I set them aside to dry them. I always save my seeds. And a couple hours later, I saw that it was a lid to a pot anyway when the dishes were washed. And I do a lot of the dishes myself, but sometimes she likes to run the hot water on her hands. It makes her arthritis better. So anyway, she threw out the seeds. So I told her that in the future, you see anything that looks like seeds, please save them, because I save them. Sometimes I misplace my seed packets, which is actually what happened earlier this spring. I was not able to find. I had a bag full of all these seed packets that I accumulating, over time, and also seeds that I had saved Anyway, the whole thing, I have not been able to find it. You would think it would be somewhere in my grow room. I haven't been able to find it. I looked in the hallway. I'm pretty darn sure it wouldn't be in my room. And sometimes when you're looking for things, you end up making bigger messes. And I'm so sick and tired of that. I would like to live in a much neater, cleaner environment. And I get really frustrated when I'm trying to clean up and it just looks worse before it looks better. Well, I'm going to put the greens back there. And where's Cassie? Let me see if I can find her. I don't know where she is. Let me see. She might be in the hallway. I don't know. Or she may be in my room. Oh, there's Tabby Boy's there. How you doing, sweetheart? You doing good? You doing good? I'll give you some more num-nums. They're getting so spoiled. They know that I have dry food and they know I have wet food, and they'll hold off for me to get some of the wet food out. All right, Tabby Boy. Tabby Boy. Come on. The only thing is they use, with their whiskers, they push half the food onto the floor, and then I end up stepping in it. That's really annoying. Half the time before I'm filming, I'm picking up pieces of cat food just to put it. Yeah, I know what I'm doing about some things, but other things, it's just trial and error. Like, I've never been able to successfully grow broccoli before. I even have problems getting the seeds to sprout. And I've never been able to grow cauliflower yet. I tried growing squashes and melons, and it took me 6 years before I was able to get one cantaloupe. I would have loved to have grown cantaloupe when my father was alive. That was one of his favorite fruits. And those things, I mean, you have to create a raised bed and you have to put them away from sometimes where other plants are, because they have the hugest leaves. Their leaves can be larger than a dinner plate. And if you have it too close to other plants, the leaves will will shade out your other plants. I had them close to my tomato plants. And I had to cut some of the leaves, and what I think I ended up doing is I cut too many leaves off of my squash plants. I was so surprised to see all the squash leaves dead in the garden today. I would have thought that because the uh, watermelons and especially things like pumpkins and things, they don't seem to be bothered by the cold temperatures. So I was surprised to see the leaves are totally dead. And I know with some things. Hi, Katie. How you doing? I think I'm gonna go into my grow room. I love that grow room so much more now that I have put the scarves up. Tabby boy, don't lay down there. No, that's filthy and dirty. Oh, dirt ball. He's laying down in the room near where the litter box is. I am not going to have a filthy, dirty cat. I don't care. I'm not having it. Okay. Turn the light on. And my plants, I've given up on trying to put them up. They're laying down. And you know what? That's just how they're going to be. Wait, can you tell the little tomatoes? Over here, I see at least 3. They're little. I don't know if you can see this. I can't see what you can see. But my other plants, And if you see a lot of Christmas decorations, that's because this is where I keep a lot of Christmas stuff. Plus, in the hallway, there's a trunk that's all Christmas things. We have these foot lockers. They're literally big enough that you can put bodies in them. I mean, you can put my body in them, definitely. But the only thing is, then once you have them full, then you have to drag them around on the ground. They don't have wheels. They're really heavy. So moving would be a real hassle. You would definitely need somebody with like flatbed pickup truck or something. But see, I can hide behind scarves and things, and maybe when the dirt bags are hanging out, they won't see me so much. But actually, now that it's getting cold, they actually don't hang out all the time as badly, except for when they do, and I find myself having to call the police. We've been really kind of nervous ever since they were throwing rocks or whatever it is they were throwing. Tabby boy, get away from there. Come on. Psst. Come on. Get away from there. Get out. Get Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're causing trouble, and I don't nobody has time for that. You know what? Maybe he was there because of Cassie. One of the things that he's been doing lately is he's been getting up near her just to get her reaction or something. Let me see if she's in here. There better not be any kitty in here. Okay. Nope. I don't know where Cassie is. I do not know. There are all these places where a cat can hide. It's really funny. Tabby Boy is starting to. Hi, Shar. How you doing? Trying to find Cassie. I hope you don't mind this disorganized whatever. And I'm sure that my brain's not running on all cylinders. I am so sleep deprived. I know this isn't healthy, but since I have working Wi-Fi and 2 computers, I am working all I can using those various sites that you do different things on. Oh, that sounds like my brother, which means means Tabby Boy is probably going to run down the hall and will make himself scarce while I'm filming. So you know what? Let me get Tabby Boy if I can. All right, Tabby Boy. Tabby Boy. Oh, I see you. Oh, see. I knew it. Tabby Boy is not hard of hearing like somebody else in this house. And as soon as my brother comes in, he's like the Pied Piper, and Tabby Boy runs down the hall because he figures, oh, maybe there's some num nums to steal. Yes, you've been known to get hamburgers from McDonald's and open them up or whatever and take them. Tabby Boy is very resourceful, and if you're not paying attention to him, then he'll do something like scratch on the woodwork or do something to get your attention, right? That's what Tabby Boy does. Tabby Boy, please do not scratch at my face with your paws. You were just near the litter box. I don't want your gungy bungies. Oh, whoa, 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 I don't want your gungy bungies. Hey, that's my Tabby Boy. Oh, I love my Tabby Boy. Okay. There, I'm putting you down. Oh, boy. So, today, I've been trying to keep my ear out for the latest COVID statistics. One thing that stood out was we have 4 local Atlantic City firefighters tested positive for COVID-19. So, and they said some interesting things about some of our local grade schools. One of the grade schools that I went to, Brighton Avenue School, that school and a school called Texas Avenue School, both, they found out that they had some real serious problems. For like 6 years, one of those schools did not have any hot water. Now, I cannot imagine a school not having hot water for 2 weeks, let alone 6 years. How can you subject children to this kind of environment? I mean, we're talking the United States of America here. We're not talking some third world country, and it wouldn't be right. It's not right that these conditions exist anywhere. But to find out that this has been going on, and it took some anonymous whistleblower to, I guess, the squeaky joint gets the grease. But they were talking about this on, I think it was WPG radio station in the morning. And part of the reason why I have been so sleep deprived is it'll be close to sun up, and I'll know that I need to go to bed. But then all of a sudden it'll be close to when I normally make the coffee. So I figure, well, I better make the coffee. Or the people downstairs start slamming that door, or the people start congregating uh, because of all the work done by some of the social service agencies in the neighborhood and stuff. Sometimes they have these vans to show up, these mobile vans for the organizations that get people clean off of heroin. They have different drug treatment things, and they have these mobile vans. They have showers for homeless people, and you have these organizations that give out toiletry kits and things, and so you've got these lines of people for all this different stuff. Very little social distancing, of course. Uh, Even though I am seeing more and more mask wearing, but uh, as far as the people that are doing certain kinds of crimes and stuff, they're not doing much in the way of protecting themselves. But another reason why I have been sleep deprived is because when I do have time to sleep, I'm only sleeping with like one eye, because some of the things I do for my day jobs, you have to click every minute or so for like 20 times. And then I guess if you see enough ads or something, then they add to your balance. And then when it gets high enough, then you can cash out to your PayPal. um, so, but I think it's been like 48 hours that I may have had 2 hours of sleep. Part of it is the other day I had taken so much time to edit that last video I did. And not only was the editing taking up time, but then the video itself gets processed in my computer. Then when I upload videos to YouTube, YouTube takes its own time doing its own processing, which will add another at least hour and a half, oftentimes more than 2 hours, to an edited video that I did. So if my video itself is around 2 hours, the processing time is at least that. And it's really frustrating and unnerving to me, especially when I think that I am making my scheduled posting day, but I'm doing it so late at night that it actually doesn't turn live till about 5, 6 in the morning, like the next morning. So even though I feel I've kept my schedule, if you guys are expecting Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, it may actually technically be the morning after. And I do apologize for that. I need to start the upload attempt earlier to allow for that. There's a part of me that thinks that the fact that I showed up for work is good enough, but I have to remember that the perspective of the creator is not the same as the perspective of the audience. I should think about that from the other forms of entertainment I've done through the years, that you know what you experience as a performer, but the audience rarely knows anything about the experience of the performer. and the audience shouldn't be expected to care, especially if the audience is paying in some way. They don't care how you made yourself sore through practicing. They don't care about the bad day you had before you showed up on stage or whatever. They just care that you're on time and you're given the performance that they want. That's what people care about. So it's cold out there, and it's going to get even colder. It's good that the heat comes on. My radiator, which I can feel right now, is on. I wish I could get the radiator to turn on in the grow room. And the thing is that if I want to keep our bill as low as possible, I should keep the grow room door closed so that that draft doesn't affect the thermostat. But I don't want the plants to die. So, and with all those baby tomatoes, I have 4 or 5 baby tomatoes on those plants. I don't know what condition the pepper plant's in. As far as the lentils go, I grew them more to fix soil full of nitrogen than to actually grow lentils. We have enough bags of lentils that it's not like it's something that I feel I need to grow. But I wanted to see what lentil flowers look like, and I haven't gotten them to flower yet, unless they flowered when they were underneath other plants, in which case I didn't see them. I know I could go and look at a video or look up pictures of them, but there's nothing like looking at them for yourself. I noticed that different kinds of beans have different colored flowers, but I misplaced most of my seeds. What temperature would I have to keep it? I suppose whatever normal people's heated apartments would be like would be fine. Uh, the temperature in my room, I don't think is quite warm enough. Um, it depends on how cold it gets outside. If it gets really cold outside, then the furnace will kick in and it'll feel better. Uh, and I know that you're supposed to be able to bleed radiators. There's a certain key, and I don't understand the process, but I understand it's been done and it hasn't helped. If somebody actually was using that room as a bedroom to sleep in, they would have to sleep in outside clothes. They'd probably have to wear sweatpants with thermals underneath it or stockings underneath it, and a number of long sleeve shirts and then a sweatshirt on top of it, which I've had to wear more clothes to keep warm than I ever thought that I would for an actual place that was a place to live as opposed to an abandonmenium or something. But, you know, hey, Emmanuel, how are you doing? I guess I'm doing this my normal time, huh? I just, I was, it wasn't that I wasn't inspired earlier. It was too noisy with the neighbors. And plus, I have talk radio on really loud, starting at 12 noon with Rush Limbaugh. I have him on for 3 hours, and then I got Sean Hannity on, and then Mark Levin on, and then, um, but actually, after Mark Levin, uh, I put the volume down so that I could do some other things. Yeah, he's still doing shows. And as a matter of fact, I assumed that he would only be on Monday because he said that he was going to be doing treatments. And a lot of times when he's doing treatments, um, well, I've got a tooth that's cracking, and um, I can't resist playing with it. And I know that's not smart. And you can see I have more braids in my hair, but I didn't add more beads to them. I was going to start getting festive, starting on my birthday, but when the election wasn't going the way I wanted it to, I just wasn't feeling very festive. Yeah, I was never able to make that appointment with that dental surgeon that was supposed to pull these splittery bone fragments that were sticking through my gums, and they were really hurting me. And I don't know what happened to them, whether they went back through or when I don't know what, but I don't feel them anymore. But meanwhile, I think the dentist wanted to see me again in January. So if I could hold this off until then I just see him when I see him. I don't dislike my dentist, but one of the things that I don't really enjoy is when there's a bunch of other people in the waiting room. The more this COVID is going on and the worse the numbers get, I'm starting to get really nervous. I'm more nervous for bringing something to my mother. Plus, if anybody was to get it, need to quarantine, how the hell do you totally quarantine away from all the people that you don't want to expose it to? The reason why I actually sought out and finally got a dentist during COVID is because I had been needing a dentist for a couple of years, and I was really afraid that I was going to have other health issues when you don't get the dentistry you need. They have proven there are links between your heart health and your oral health, and if germs go from your mouth into the bloodstream, that could kill a person. So, uh, but yeah, I didn't want to do another video that was just all a bunch of bad news about the COVID. I mean, the information I could find is information that anybody could seek out. But that said, I know that sometimes people come to my videos just for information. Uh, Cassie! Oh, there's Cassie. I'm gonna steal Cassie without tripping up on my computer cord. Hello. Cassie is my cat. Oh, look who I have. Look at this pretty girl. Oh, well, well, at least our governor has not closed the casinos, but there is no more indoor restaurant service. There is no beverages on the casino floor. If you're gambling, they will not serve you drinking. They will not serve you beverages. All the food and beverages outside, so you can take things to go. Now, I have seen masks that have a flap and have you can lift it up and there's a hole for a straw. I don't know how the masks compare to an N95. The couple of days ago, Governor Murphy said, as of 10 p.m., whatever the day was, there would be no more indoor seating for restaurants and no more indoor seating in the bars in the state of New Jersey. Our casinos are still open. That's good for the fact that they employ so many people. Some of the players' lounges that used to be open on the weekdays are now only open on the weekends. I'm sure that's saving the casinos money, but I'm sure it sucks for the people that come here to gamble during the week. And if they're players and they're rated to go in the lounges and they can't go and get their free drinks and whatever, which I'm sure that's also because of the whole eating indoors thing. Jesse Ventura, I remember when he was a wrestler and then he ran for governor of someplace. I don't remember. Oh, I now got cat hair on my nose. I got cat hair on my nose. Oh, yeah. I used to watch wrestling. I don't watch anything now because I don't have TV now. But oh, Well, here, I'll take it out of the. This says squishy. Oh, it doesn't make a sound. Oh, I haven't seen it. What's this bag? You know what? I'm gonna take this into the kitchen so I can wash my hands. And I've got. Oh no. Oh no. Tell me she's not gonna do that. What are you doing, Cassie? Oh, you couldn't get on the toilet because the lid's shut. So you can't drink out of the toilet. Gee, what a shame. I'm depriving you of flavored water today. Whatever will you do? Hello, Tabby boy. How you doing? Here's my Tabby boy. See my Tabby boy? There's my baby. Right? You okay? I'm gonna wash my hands. Right? My cat? My Tabby boy! My Tabby boy! Might as well get some hot tea while I'm here. My throat's kind of irritated because I've been smoking some dirt weed, you know. That's all you can find. And I guess it's better than nothing, but it's harsh. This COVID thing has affected the weed supply here. First of all, it's harder to socialize with people. You can't see your friends. I imagine it's affecting the supply chain also. And if you're limited in what you can access, and it's all a bunch of junk. And also, there are people here in the city that uh, they do kind of a racist distribution of weed. And if they don't like you, they'll give you the white price. And you're not going to get the quality that somebody else will get that's maybe more in line with their culture. You know, you're going to get the twigs and the stems and the shaky, leafy bullshit. You know what? I don't know if I brought my cup in here, so I'm going to get my cup. Did I? I don't know. Unless my cup was washed. You know what? I think that's it. I think the cup was washed. Yeah. Oh, no. Every time I do a live stream, you're exercising your shoulders. I feel like such a screw up. I was into fitness pretty hardcore. I would work weights. I did kickboxing. But one day I just did not get up and work out first thing. And it's easy to have a streak of inactivity. I can't explain it, I can't justify it, but I will say this: one of the things I did not enjoy was that jarring feeling of running in place when you're not really awake, when maybe the coffee hasn't even been made yet. And I can tell you that it is possible to start to fall asleep when you're running. And all of a sudden, you'll find that you hit up against the woodwork and you bashed your shoulder, you know? And I heard that if you have shoulder surgery, that's not a permanent solution, that you could still have problems. My mother had arthroscopic shoulder surgery, and she still has issues. They want her to do the other side. And so, uh, and if this tea's too weak, I'll just put another tea bag in. Since the jig's up, and you know that I use one tea bag and I make a whole pot of tea. Yeah, I think I need to add another tea bag. I've got boxes of tea bags up there, but we just use up one batch at a time. One thing they're saying now, because all different kinds of tea have all these antioxidants and things, so they're touting it as the latest health food. In all the advertisement, they talk about however many, whatever the dosage is of antioxidants per cup. Of course, that's if you use a tea bag to a cup. If you dilute it the way we do, you're not going to get that kind of effect. I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to get to bed earlier tonight than I've been. But I've been saying that for the past 3 nights. And truthfully, I feel more energized at night. But on the same token, I like getting things done in the morning. And there's something to be said for being up bright and early and hitting the ground running and taking care of business. It all depends on what your responsibilities are. Oh, yes. Look who this is. Who's this? I got Cassie, girl. Oh, my Cassie. My Cassie. This is my little baby. My little baby. My baby Cassie. My Cassie. My baby. He's my baby. Oh, she weighs so little. She weighs. She feels like she's about 3 pounds. You would not believe how lightweight this kitty is. It's a lightweight pussycat. Yes, it's a pretty girl. Look at this pretty girl. I got baby. I got baby. Oh, hi, JB. I got catchy girl. I don't want your kitty gungy bunchies. Your whiskers are going up my nose. But I've done worse. But, oh, incidentally, the 19th of November was my clean and sober birthday. On the subject of drugs and alcohol and all that stuff, and yet I can talk about pot in the same sentence. But one of these days, I'm going to go to an AA meeting like the week before. I'm okay. Looking forward to this tea. Will be soothing to my throat that's a little bit scratchy from smoking dirt weed earlier. That's all I can find. Got all this cat hair. Oh, you want to see what I plucked out of the garden today? JB, I got a bunch of kale. I just went crazy on the kale. And I didn't get yelled at. I got some tiny little peppers. You'd think these would be real hot, but they're actually not. Peppers. And this is real parsley, as opposed to this parsley here that smells like celery. And you know what I should do? I should take that celery and I should put it in a cup so that it stays fresh. Kind of like I did with this one, but there's not enough room in this one, so I'm going to have to get another one. I know what I can use. I'll just grab another plastic cup. Let's see. If you heard that song with the chimes and stuff, my brother likes to gamble online. And I noticed those slot machines or poker hands or whatever, they sound like video games. So I'm going to rinse this out. And I'm going to... Oh! Stick these in. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a disorganized stream tonight. I put a lot of effort into the last video that I did and took a couple hours just to edit it. And the processing took so long. I shouldn't have started the processing late. Did he ever hit it big? Who's the he that we're talking about? My brother? Oh, supposedly he hit for $1,000 yesterday. But now, if I hit for $1,000, I would have put it onto some of the bills. That's what I would have done. But well, not all minds think alike. You know what? I'm trying to get a decent view. I want to try to show you what I'm doing without dropping things on my floor. Because anything that I drop on this floor, I'm going to soap and water wash. And I don't really like doing that to food. But the whole idea of something edible being contaminated, just, it's a big gross out. So, I don't know why I'm even doing the pretense of putting this in water. It's better to just let it dry. But the parsley, I definitely want to keep wet. Rosemary. I think it's supposed to rain on Sunday or something. I have not been going out anywhere, really. If it's not right up the street, I just have not been. If the corona spikes are getting worse and worse, and they say we've had over 1,000 people, they have it here in Atlantic City. So all the more reason for people, I think, to limit their contacts with other people. But that said, I don't see people doing that. My brother goes out with his friends. They pick him up in their cars, and you know, he goes wherever. So I'm going to have to keep this water pretty full. There. Okay. Now, I think I'm just going to. Oops. But first, I'm going to put the cat's thing back on. I'm going to have to wash my hands after I put the computer back. Anyway. Oh. Tabby boy, my baby. Look where my baby is. I see my baby. Tabby boy, where? Alright, Tabby boy. There you are. There's my baby. My sweetheart. Whoops. I almost got tripped on my cord, and I don't think this Lenovo would survive my fall from there. So I'm plugging this back in. Look what's in here. You know what? I'm going to close my door. Okay. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to move this because the light's a little bit better. I'm just lighting the candle right now. Even though I'm not going to promise that I might not light something else later, but right now, there. I hate it when I break the wick, and so I end up having to use matches. So this, does not have coffee grounds. If I had whole bean coffee, I would be grinding coffee with it. But most of what I've used this for is not coffee beans. Oh, I will be so glad when we go fully legal. January 1st, 2021. Oh, as an aside, our mayor, Marty Smalls, wants to have it so that the first 5 years of legalization here in the state of New Jersey, he wants it to be so that the only place where they could have sales would be here in Atlantic City. Yeah. He thinks that if they only have sales in Atlantic City for 5 years, that would be a way of making up for the fact that the CREDA money, CREDA is Casino Reinvestment Development Corporation, all the money that the casinos contribute for different things, the luxury tax, all the different things, casinos, they do a whole lot of contributing to things that benefit not only Atlantic City, but throughout the state of New Jersey. So, since so many of the things that the casinos contribute to don't even go on to help the city, Marty Smalls thinks that if only Atlantic City can sell marijuana for the first 5 years, then it will kind of make up for it. But of course, nobody's going to put up with that. Anyway, it's not a whole lot of this. From what I understand, is a gradual thing has been going on that marijuana is supposed to be the absolutely lowest priority offense to police, and that seems to be a growing trend. I don't want to say everywhere because I'm sure that many people could point out places where they have very strict marijuana laws. But and I could say that I have been lucky with my encounters. I have not really had problems. Then again, I spend most of my time by myself anyway, and crowds tend to attract negative attention from the police. Yeah, I'm going to do this very carefully so that I don't end up spilling things. You can see this. Do you guys object if I do? I have a small one, but it's all plugged up and it doesn't have any, it's got real thin stem. Smoke them if you got them. Well, it cools off the smoke definitely. Now, what I read something really I found surprising was the most efficient way to smoke is actually through a joint because nothing gets wasted. I used to always think that when you smoke joint, so much of the smoke goes up in the air, but apparently what happens is the resin, as you burn the joint, the resin gets further on up into the paper, into the joint. So when you smoke it, all the resin and stuff gets consumed. Whereas when you smoke out of a bong, the resin lines the edges of the bong and it doesn't actually get to you. And I do know they're a pain in the ass to clean. Very pain. Just be advised if you're going to use if you save your ashes and you add them to plants, know why you're adding things. Ashes actually will make a soil more alkaline, whereas coffee grounds will make a soil more acid. So if you're going to throw one in and you're not doing it specifically to affect the pH of the soil, make sure to offset it by adding some coffee grounds. But it's best to actually let your coffee grounds rot in a compost heap. If you just take fresh coffee grounds from your coffee maker, what will end up happening is they'll get moldy in the soil. And if you're putting it on your plants, if you have too many moldy things, it can actually contribute to root rot. That's the last thing you want. One time I was given some things, I was saving up uh, plant waste for the big community compost pile where the garden plot is. And one of the farmers that's more in charge of it told me that it was moldy and not to put it in there. And I thought that everything that got in a compost pile would start to mold as part of the decomposition process. And you want these plants to decompose, and that turns into really rich soil. So this is like practically a waste of time. If I was smart, I would just leave this for the morning because, like, I'm hardly going to feel it now because it's late at night. But if I do a wake and bake, at least I'll feel it better. And that's what I did yesterday. I left myself a little something because it's ridiculous to be doing this and not really feeling it too much. Okay. Terry boy left. Cassie left. You know what? I'm going to put the lid on this so that I don't have an accident. I'm going to leave the rest of this for tomorrow morning. There. I'm sure that I'll feel it a lot more then. There. Oh, I'm going to show you guys the latest cover from an industry paper that I read called Multi-Channel News. And I'm just saving it because it had this picture. As a YouTuber, I try to read as many publications about broadcasting and television, major motion pictures, all that stuff. But just industry's industry. And you never know when you're going to learn something that might be helpful. I wish we'd figure out what's going on with this election stuff. It is rather depressing. But I remember Bush and Gore. It took a month. You know, it just calling somebody presumptive nominee when that might not be what ends up happening. You know, and like people were sending petitions to Joe Biden already, and like some things about animal rescue and things. And I heard about this one guy that was writing these letters to Joe Biden. I says, why don't you try going through President Trump first? If you have something, I believe it's a petition involving, I don't remember exactly. It's something to do with strengthening the laws against animal cruelty, I believe. And I'm sure that Trump would be more than happy to sign it. In the off chance that this is his lame duck period, I would be sure that he would want to be known for doing as many positive things as possible with his term. So, and I'm sure there's probably a part of him that's really mad at all the double crossing people around him and through the years. And I don't know. I can't speak for the guy. I would imagine that part of it would be irresistible just to give a giant FU to a bunch of people and find ways to exact revenge. But then on the other hand, there to the people that don't like him, they would imagine that every decision that he makes that they don't understand, they're going to attribute to some kind of malice on his part when there's no way they can get inside his head. And they probably don't have enough intelligence to understand the strategies that he employs to do things. And the fact that Trump keeps so many people guessing, I think that's part of his genius. And you don't want your enemies to be able to find you to be too predictable. And I love it when Trump is critical of other people being willing to tip off the enemy to their advanced plans, like saying when they were going to leave, so that then the enemy knows that, okay, there's not going to be anybody supervising, so I can go back to setting up my terrorist training camp or do whatever, you know. But the idea of a Joe Biden presidency, I do find really scary from a national security standpoint. And from an immigration standpoint, I find it absolutely terrifying. Reversing the pauses we had on certain classifications of people that we deemed through too much long learned experience to be national security risks when it's especially when it's so hard to vet people. Uh, I can understand wanting to be a compassionate nation, but you have to have solid borders so that you can have a cohesive identity, and you have to love yourself enough to protect and defend yourself, and that means knowing who is coming into your country, and because you love the people that are already here and you have your sworn duty bound to protect and defend the Constitution and to protect the people that live here. So I'm telling you, the job of president, that's not a job that I would ever want. I mean, can you think of all the stress and all the aggravation that it is to be the leader of the free world? And you've got so many targets on your back, and you can't make everybody happy. You never know who's going to betray you. And you can't, I can't blame President Trump for discovering Twitter and using that as his mouthpiece. At least to have some way of not having to worry about people trying to censor what you're saying, which of course they're doing anyway. But at least he can go through saying something directly instead of depending on some interviewer to not twist his words around or something. Nobody likes to be misconstrued. Nobody likes to have a false narrative put about them. When you're able to go and say, this is exactly how I feel, this is how I choose to communicate my truth, my thoughts, a person has the right to do that, to say things the way they feel they need to be as truthful as they feel it's safe to do so. I would rather have somebody give me some harsh truths rather than lie to me. And so I'm basing my information, which turns out not to be true. That can be catastrophic to think about the implications of that. So I really, one of the things I highly respect about President Trump is his bluntness, his honesty, his business acumen, um, and the whole idea that people want him to lose so badly that they would resort to all kinds of election fraud is very sad. But the evidence seems to be overwhelming. I've seen lots of video footage of ballots and all kinds of what I would feel to be suspicious activity, even with my not being officially trained uh, or as a worker of the U.S. Postal Service. And now that uh, experience I had being trained to work on the Board of Elections, I do have some experience with that. And of course, with this COVID-19 and the fact that they were using the mailing ballots, that you'd have to be a total idiot not to realize that that was a recipe for disaster. It makes fraud too easy. And I hope that we get to the bottom of this really soon. The Electoral College doesn't go into vote until December, so that's when everything has to be voted, has to be tabulated by. And I hope that it gets done efficiently and honorably and to the satisfaction of, uh, I don't want to say both parties, because the only way the Democrats would be satisfied is for there to be no investigation, period, just accept the results. Uh, I think what should happen is that the Republicans should be satisfied with it being uh, them finding out that yes, the proof is that the fraud happened and put it the way it's supposed to be. And of course, I would be happy because that would mean we get 4 more years of our president. So, and I can't expect the Democrats to be happy about that. But I would think that anybody would be happy when you find out about fraud and make sure that it doesn't happen again. And really, in person voting with paper trail really would be the best thing. You're not making this whole thing of automatically sending ballots to everybody. Oh, what could possibly go wrong? And every year, voter rolls have to be corrected in different ways. And a lot of it is in how frequently a person's voting. Like I noticed that I got mail that was a little bit different than my mother's mail and some of my neighbors. If you miss more than one election, and you know what? Since 9/11, I have not missed a single election. The only matter of fact, as far as elections that I can think that I actually really did miss in my life, one of the elections uh, where I would have uh, trash bag fashion lover. Oh, I'm hanging in there. Will I wear a plastic trash bag now? Um, Probably not. And part of that is because I have no idea who you are, and in the off chance that you're actually somebody who is not only not a friend, but somebody who might have less than benign intent, I would just as soon not set myself up like that. But uh, Misty Elliott, she did a pretty cool, if not groundbreaking, video using those black bags, and they were inflated, and and she didn't need any extra inflating, if you get my drift, and yet the whole thing worked. And she was striking, and you know, I'm all for originality, and plus I bet that that cut down on the budget, but I don't know. I can't say that. Oh, so yeah, I just this COVID-19, how it's changed things, how we're expected to adjust, how you can't go out, you don't have real that much of a reason to get all dressed up, you can't go clubbing, or when I see people doing things that you know can't be safe, you know that the coronavirus cases are spiking, and yet people are having these big gatherings and these demonstrations and these marches. And there's things that I really wanted to go and participate in, but I was too afraid of taking chances. And that there are people that are teasing me online. Well, okay, well, do you mean the black ones or do you mean the clear ones or what? If they had decent colors, and I could get, because I could imagine that like the black ones that are really thick, they would look uh kind of sort of like rubber, and that's not always totally figure flattering unless like you have to wear I would guess an underwire bra. Oh yeah, I'm speaking for females at least. I mean, to give yourself some kind of shape at all. But and I know that people do all kinds of fashion things with uh, duct tape, and I know that you can do things with paper bags and tape, and you can then cover the paper bag with tape to make it waterproof. But then I think you would have to fashion a way of taking it on and off so that you don't have to cut it off. And I imagine that would be a way to, if something happened that you were deprived of all your wardrobe and you had to make something temporary, you know, just so that you can look interesting. Because I'm all about options. I would rather have a whole bunch of cheap options than one good, high quality, expensive thing that you're wearing that to death. How the minimalist people can get away with being happy with only a few things, I don't know. I need the variety and the choices, but then you deal with the clutter. Or what I need is more uh, closet poles that aren't these wood ones that the clothes get too heavy and they start sagging. And you know, I need. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's I'm at 1 minute, 1 hour 20 minutes, and 1 hour 21 minutes. I don't want to go too long tonight. Part of it is I want to get to bed at a decent hour. Second of all, I don't want to just be rambling just to be talking. I don't think that's fair. You guys, I think I should go and get a cat. Oh, time to find a kitty. All right, trying to find a kitty. I'm gonna get a kitty. Oh, there's Cassie. I see Cassie. You want to see Cassie? I see Cassie right here. Right. Oh, look. And I'm talking about her, and she can't hear me because she can't hear. My pretty little Cassie girl. Oh, let's see if I can. Who is it? Look who I got. Oh, look who I got. I'm gonna play steal the cat. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play steal the cat. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Oh my goodness, I got a cat. I got a cat. Oh, look what I got. Oh, look what I got. I got my Cassie girl. See, I got my Cassie girl. I love my Cassie. I love my Cassie girl. Oh, my Cassie girl. I do not want to drop. I'm so afraid of getting stuck on the court. Okay, good. Oh, that made me so nervous. I had, power strips over there, the cord stretched out. And oops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Oh, no, wrong. Okay. I can't see you guys. Can you see me? I've got to get back to. Okay, you guys, I got to get back to where I can see you. Oh, there you are. Hi. Thank you. I don't know what I did, but all of a sudden the screen was covered up with something else. And oh, there's Cassie. There's Cassie. Look, there's Cassie. There's water in there. Cassie, look. There's Cassie. Here's the Cassie girl. Cassie girl. Where's that pretty girl? Where's that? There's my baby. My baby. My Cassie. Drink your water. You want to drink your water? Huh? What? Let me pick you up again. Hold my Cassie girl, my pretty girl. Oh, my pretty girl. She just loves to complain. She is such a good complainer. My favorite complainer cat. Oh yes, my complainer cat. Look, my baby. Oh, look at my baby. Oh, my kitty. This is my kitty. This is my kitty. My kitty. My kitty girl. My kitty girl. Oh, my kitty girl. I got a kitty. I got a kitty. My kitty girl. Oh. Oh. My kitty girl. My kitty. Look at my kitty girl. My kitty girl. Oh. Oh. My baby. Here, I'll tell you what. All right. There. Boy. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to, I don't know, maybe do something. I don't know. It's getting late. Uh, if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'd love to take you along with me on my adventures. Sometimes it does get pretty cool, especially if we finally get rid of this damn COVID so we can go out and do things. Are you sick of it? I am. But stay safe. Gotta hang in there. Maybe just don't go out for a while. Alright? Take care now. Bye.